William Jones, making videos about leaving religion. The purpose of the videos is to get you to think. Turn your brains on and think. Use logic, use reason, and realize that religion is fake. For this video, this is after this past weekend we had the Wesley Be the Evolution event in Charlotte. It was a great turnout. The speakers were myself, Ricky Swain, Callie Williams, Coach Lorenz, Kevin Wesley, and it was so much love shown in the place. We had a good time. We had a real good time. And he's planning more events, you know, trying to get finances together, get people to help out and what have you, because this stuff costs money to do. It just doesn't happen for free. So I'm going to put this information up so y'all can check out Kevin, help out however you can. You know, I'm over here, I'm doing this too. You know, left is right. Left is right. And for this video, I'm just speaking reality, as always, trying to get you to think, use your mind. Let's compare so-called spiritual things with reality to see that the spiritual things is really foolishness we don't need. It's imaginary and it's not needed. It's added into the reality. Okay? So let's say, for instance, you know, I spoke about how you know, people get a new house and they want to say, I want to thank God for getting me this house. They get a new car. I want to thank God for getting me this new car. And then after you get it, you have a mortgage or you have a car note. And sometimes you complain about, I'll be glad when this car paid off because that money, whatever. But if God gave it to you, why are you complaining? And where does the God come in? Because if he gave it to you, why do you have a car note? If he gave you a house, why do you have a mortgage? That's like me giving you a gift. And I give you the gift. Hey, I bought you a new car, hey, and your car note's going to be $600 a month. Like, hold on, what? I didn't ask for this. I thought it was a gift. It is a gift. I got you the car that you could pay for the next 5-6 years. So how can someone give you a gift that you have to pay for? That's not a gift. If I give you a gift, it should come with no strings attached. That means I got it, it's paid for, it's done. But you're talking about God gave you a house and you got a 30-year mortgage. How about you bought that house? How about you went through all the proper channels, jumped through all the hoops you needed to jump through in order to obtain that house? The house was just not given to you. You called up a realtor, you looked at houses, you didn't like this one, you liked that one, you might have put a bid in, didn't get the bid. God didn't give you no house. Because if God was giving out houses, then there should be no homeless. If God is giving out houses, every person that says, I believe in God, should have a house. Every person that says, I believe in God, should have a car. That's not the case. Every person that says, I believe in God, should be getting a promotion on their job. One, should have a job, and two, be getting promotions on their jobs or have businesses and what have you. But in the real world, this just doesn't seem to be the case, because guess what? The thing that's missing is there is no God. There's your imagination, but there is no God. As much as you want to see that person in the hospital bed and your loved one that's sick, as much as you want to see them get up and be healed, guess what? You can't. You can't do anything, and you can pray and lay hands on and do all you want to do, and guess what? Nothing happens. You want to know why? Because the God you think is real isn't. It's your imagination. Good and bad things happens to everyone, no matter whether you say, I believe in some imaginary God or not. The difference would be if Christians could say, Christians or believers could say, yeah, we're never killed in car accidents. We're never murdered. We never commit crimes. You know what I'm saying? We always get everything we want. And shoot, I mean, it should be world peace then. If that's the case, if you're getting everything, if all your prayers are answered, then why not have world peace? But this is not the case, because guess what? Guess what's missing? Your imaginary God. It's not real. So let's come into the real world, people. Anytime you want something, if you don't do it, it doesn't get done. If you don't do it, it does not get done. You can sit around and wait on God and them to help you. It's not going to happen. I don't see anybody with a flat tire and the angels are over there changing the tire. It doesn't happen. You can call AAA, family member. We got Hero here in Metro Atlanta. You're going to call somebody to come out and help you with that flat tire. No angels, no God going to show up help you with nothing. All these children that are missing, and when they're getting kidnapped, believe you me, they're praying for God to help them and what have you, and guess what? He's a no-show. And it's simple why he's a no-show. Because he doesn't exist. He doesn't exist. Once we come to the realization that the imaginary God that we were taught to believe in doesn't exist, and we can just go on with our lives and live in reality, we'll be better off. False hope is false hope. You can go to church and hear a message and it's false hope. People going to church every Sunday, nothing changes. You still in a financial hole. You'd actually be better if you kept your tithe money. That would help you out some. You'd actually be better if you knew that this God is going to do absolutely nothing and it's on you to do it. You have to do it. Or they go and talk about the doctor. Well, we praying because God is guiding the surgeon's hand. That's not true at all. That's not true at all. That's why you want the best surgeon. You brag about it. Oh, we got the best surgeon. The best surgeon should be anybody if God is guiding their hand. And in fact, if God can just guide anybody's hand, do the surgery at home. Why don't you do it? Oh, because you don't know how to do it, because you didn't go to school to learn how to do it, so you don't know how to do it. This is not the Matrix where homeboy put in the program and it zaps into your head and you automatically know how to do it. No, these surgeons that are considered the best have studied under some of the best. You have to look at their credentials. Because if you hear about a surgeon and he lost a few people, was God guiding their hand? Do you want that person working on your loved one? No, you want to hear the best, even though you got your God. Like I said, if your God is guiding their hand, it shouldn't matter who's doing the surgery. They should be all right. But this is not the case. And in the back of their mind, they know this, but they can't admit it because they've been taught God their whole life. They can't let go of the concept. Think about it. You had job interviews you went on and didn't get the job. You've had situations where it just didn't work out for you, and guess what God did? Absolutely nothing, which is understandable when you realize that God isn't real. That's the bottom line. No one can prove a God. Well, you see all of this around you? Yeah, and that doesn't prove your God is real. Well, how do we get here? From our parents, and who made them? Their parents, and their parents, and their parents. This does not prove your God is real. If you want to prove your God is real, then raise the dead, heal the sick, cause there to be peace everywhere, prosperity everywhere. Show us that, then maybe you have a case. But don't talk about you lost your car keys and couldn't find them, and then you prayed to God and you found your car keys. No, let's pray about the child that doesn't have a meal and they're fed every day. Let's talk about the person that doesn't have a home and gets a new house and the resources to take care of that house. Let's talk about some real situations, not no stupid situations where you don't need a God. If you got in the house, and guess what? More than likely you use your keys, and your keys are they're more than likely in the house, because if you got in the house, they're somewhere in the house and you misplaced them. That's normally the likelihood of that. Let's deal in reality here. There is no God. You can't prove a God. Your feelings and experiences aren't God. God is love. Love is an emotion. So is God also anger? Because he was always angry in the Bible. He was always angered and slew thousands of people. So God is also anger. God said he was a jealous God. So is God also jealousy? Don't just say God's loved and God's anger, God's depression, God is happy, God is sad, God is all of these things. Come on, don't single him out to one thing. What the hell is God is love? What does that mean? When you love someone, you just do for them because you love them. It doesn't have to be a gushy feeling there when you do it. You do it because one, is probably your responsibility, and you do it because you love them. If it's not your responsibility, that's showing love. It has nothing to do with a God. It has everything to do with humanity. We don't need gods for morality. You're talking about, well, the Ten Commandments doesn't mention, thou shalt not rape, thou shalt not sleep with or have sex with someone you're not married to, which fornication was not fornication anyway. You made that fornication up. Fornication had a whole nother meaning besides having sex with someone you weren't married to. You don't hear, thou shalt not be homosexual, huh? And thou shalt not covet. This is really a commandment. So they got a nice house, and I want a nice house. Oh, you've sinned because you've liked the nice house they got. He got a nice truck. I want that. I like that truck. Oh, you sinned because you like the same truck he got. Really? Covet is in the Ten Commandments. The first 4 commandments are all about God with his selfish self. All about him. And the next 6, you're talking about stealing and honoring your parents, but some of the major things you didn't even mention. Come on, man. And then the ones you got in there, they're stolen from the 42 confessions of Ma'at from Kemet or Egypt. So all stolen is not real. Like I said, once you figure out the equation that your God is not real, you can go on in the real world and get stuff done without false hope of some supernatural helping you. Supernatural isn't even real. Supernatural, like faith and other things, and like blasphemy, are religious words made up for the religion that have no place in the real world. It happens supernaturally. What is supernatural? Well, you're not spiritual, so you can't detect it. You can't detect it. Something happened and you want to claim it's supernatural, and you can't prove a supernatural. You can't prove a God. You can't prove any of the things you say you believe from this book. But you can live in this real world and do some real things, so let's stick with that. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. And y'all take care out there. Remember, left is right. Y'all take care out there. Peace.